Hey, how is everybody? We are back, and super lazy day. Thought it was Valentine's Day. You know what happens? So we're gonna have a short stream today. That's the idea. And happy Valentine's Day. Still kind of getting set up, so you'll excuse me. Hopefully. It's too quiet. I need music. Hiding in the back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yesterday we got some of it working. I think I'll go over it in a second. I have an idea. Oh, I mean things went right, but where we need to go from here. The idea would be, I think this has the full weird walk. So I applied the scripts to every limb and the cog. And things have gotten off track a little. So I think it's just a quadrant thing. So I think if we look at where it starts, I don't know where we're going to divide our invisible line to find out if we're a left or a right. Maybe we can even check. I mean, we're selecting controls. They should at least have good labels. So maybe we can find a left or a right. And if we start on the left and we have a positive angle total, then we would want to do the same thing we're doing? No, do the opposite. Or is it front and back that's the problem? Either way, I think there's a quadrant thing. We're going to have to divide it in half. And maybe into fours. Because while I feel like the back right leg... Let's see how bad it is. If we just tweaked some of these here polls, because the polls never got updated. So they would move like this, I guess. Like it's almost the opposite. But this one wants to advance up. Yes. Should we be affecting the first one? Keep it straight and then we go into the turn. And animations are complicated. I feel like the whole thing should be turned. So that way when you blend into it, you're blending into everything that is turning. Otherwise you have like a weird straight turn and it's not going to loop well. You can't just keep turning. Like if it's chasing something in a circle, it's going to like straight and then turn and have like a weird rounded cube, good square. So maybe we should be adjusting from one. Should get back to the original. To kind of think this actually be just because it travels less for the entire like turning animation. And then the front arms, yeah, I feel like if they were just moving the opposite direction, they seem to be moving to the it's the opposite direction, opposite x. So the y might be okay, or the z, depending on your orientation. So yeah, the question is, can we have one script that's run for everything? So we might want to get the script to just be divided into 4. And then we can flip the x-axis. And then hopefully that's like 2/3 of it done. And we can see how much z we need to play with, or if we need to adjust the beginning. I don't know if we need to adjust the beginning too much though, seeing that we can get to start on a, on a circle and then stay on the circle. I guess it just depends on if the beginning and end poses are vastly. So I'm tempted to just make a function that does a lot of this. We should add highlighting and context. Where do I use your fake pose? You're just for this testing, right? Found out that we were out of phase. Leave that there. It's good to keep some sanity checks here and there. Actually, I had another idea. Maybe I should be making some notes up at the top. So, if we weren't based off of time, I think it would be z-axis. If we did this, we wouldn't be having the problem where the feet slide. But we would get a value that would tell us what percentage of the way through our like z movement this time code is. And if it doesn't change, well, yeah, we could get a percentage of that, like how much it's moving. So that way it would have plateaued stuff that won't get altered. Right now we're just kind of like interpolating every key to be, more sine or cosine. So that's an idea. Okay, the other one is getting front limbs with a nice parenthetical question mark. That actually we want to have separate behavior. Moving in opposite axis. Okay. I think they're front limbs. How much do the back limbs work? They kind of work. Can we just run the same script on the knees? Is that a possibility? We're already in this tarnished scene, might as well experiment. Run a few scripts. Actually, maybe we should run them one at a time. You little out. Kind of, except I think this needs to really go in a lot more. Not like a huge tweak. This might be the one thing that I would say for a turn animation should always be like 15 degrees. Maybe 8. That way, no matter when you're blending in, you're not going to have like a spine wiggle. When you're turning, you're just going to have the spine bend and then stay bent until you're not turning anymore. To that, yeah, we might string together the same function multiple times for different controls if we're going to automate the full thing. Like that would have to go in at half. Oh, we should also write that. We were having problems with multiple controls selected. So if, okay, wait, it's a bug. Let's label it. If running on multiple controls, spine mid. Must be constant at half. Tilting at about half. Total rotation. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just have an arbitrary number. Because if we're going 90 degrees over a longer distance, I don't know why we would, but if we did, then we don't want it to bend its spine 45 degrees. Be constant at arbitrary value. Okay, little tab, and then what else? Front limbs. move different. I think that's the truth. Okay, and you're a pain in the butt. What if you're negative? Doesn't help at all. Where do you start? Be way positive, right? No, you need some Z. You need a little Z modification, friend. That's the problem. So at first it actually gets pushed out kind of far. So many windows already. Game exporter. Been there. Pauses. Starts there. And here it got thrown way out. Why is it so far out? Why did that get moved? Okay, maybe it translates a little weird. Fact that I don't think that'd be much better. Cast. Grab my backups. Or I butcher everything. Okay. Backed up and getaway possible. Okay. You need to go back to walk to. Cool. What's the minus look like on that? Okay, a little weird. Hmm. So, I think cosine to do far over. Same sign to do how far forward or back. I guess we're usually using it to taper off how far. We push it till total 90. The position does look like it's going correct. Sort of. And this is gonna make it go the wrong way, which maybe that's fine. Maybe it should be going the wrong way. We have other ways to put it. We have other ways of making you speak. Like flipping the Winkel. I mean, it's interesting. What if do this? Catalyst, hey, how are you? Happy Valentine's Day. If that's something you celebrate. If not, forget I said anything. It's not important. How's your day? What are you up to? We might be doing a short stream today because the wife has the day off. And yeah, I realized it was Valentine's Day this morning. And if I have any excuse to take the day off, I think it would be this. Kind of don't, but sure, that's fine. Tomorrow's cheap chocolate day. That's the important thing. Get all the cheap candy tomorrow. Syntax what? So yeah, since we're doing a short stream, we'll probably get into Blender stuff tomorrow instead. How do I keep running into this? About the negative on the inside? Okay. Maybe it's that, and then we needed the negative. We actually wanted to adhere to the circle we drew arbitrarily. How short is short stream? Maybe another hour or so. Wife's making a cake. So I have a bit of time. Sorry if that's any inconvenience to you. I don't mean to put you out. But yeah, I thought it would be nice. Because she has the full week off. If I'm going to find any excuse to take a day off a stream, Valentine's Day is a decent. Probably too short for you to model anything topical. I mean, how hard is a heart? Or an arrow? Oh my god, I could do an arrow in like a second. Because of course you need to pierce the heart with the arrow. I think that's how it works. Okay, maybe that's better. And sometimes you get it kind of close, and it's just like hard to tell that there's anything wrong. Okay. Hmm. I guess we could try and get their distance from imaginary point. And that to tweak things. It might be necessary. You're thinking of something involving more kobolds? Well, you should do it. We'll make it Valentine's week. Let's just have a pink and red lovey week. It'll be great. Promise I won't think it's weird. I think kobold definitely deserves its time to be on Valentine's Day cards. So, okay, so it starts almost on the line. And then it moves forward. And it's still almost on the line. Be shifted more. Okay, if my theory about quadrants is right, then maybe this just needs to be flipped. Nope. Curious. Wonder if I played with more radii, if we could actually see what it should be. Looking for? Reload this the scene. Yeah, what would you do? I don't fully understand the worlds that your kobold fits in. Not to be like, your kobold doesn't fit in, not anything like that. I'm just like, I haven't seen your kobold in an environment yet. Is it like cartoony? Are we in like, you know what? I don't want to say anything and lead you down any paths. You should just tell me. How is this animation transferring to Unity? I will be using the game exporter, which I think is just a way of organizing your time codes. And I export it as one file into Unity. And then in Unity, because I used game exporter to split it up and put titles for each time mark, it will transfer that to Unity. Otherwise, I would have to tell it time codes and add animations and then set up each animation to have the start and end and then whether it loops or not. But yeah, it'll bring in all of the animations and their time codes, and then I have to tell it if it loops or not, and then I can drag those around into finite state machines. Oh, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Except a Christmas card one, but that's probably permanently on hold. Wait, why would that be on hold? Did Christmas get canceled and no one told me? Okay, so this does represent like fog decently. get a smaller one for the feet. Should be good enough for both. And then the outer ones. That's a bit more of a stretch. The inner track and the outer track are a bit skewed. You already forgot why you moved from that? Oh wait, was that the packages and the chimney? I never saw the kobold get integrated into that. Wasn't properly rigged yet? Sounds about right. Oh wait, so you were talking about animations. Do you have animations started for kobolds? That's exciting. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a little bit of the old script in Blender. Maybe I'll be completely out of my depth. I will completely need you and Cryogi to be, you know, your most attentive you've ever been. But we could make something. That could be interesting. Wait, so if we are getting a position where it is, and then adding our sine cosine, then we're saying that the original position is like the center of our circle. And this is the center of our circle. Gotta bring all the tidbits of linear algebra together. Beware of what you wish for. I'm excited. Let's see it. Because you're just gonna get better. Oh my goodness. Maybe last year around this time I was working on maybe the wolf. That wolf walk cycle took a long time and still looks horrible. And now I actually really like the frog. And yeah, it's not like I've animated every day, but like going through the pipeline and getting to animations and then doing a small set of animations has helped immensely. Again, I don't know how many characters I did last year. Maybe 6 plus? Definitely 6 plus if you count Scooby, Shaggy, Fred, Velma, Daphne, because that's 5 alone. Okay, so we're over here. If we drag like a hand to our closest new curve, I guess in and back, be like here. And for that right hand, and see if we can do the same thing. And then you would be arbitrary number, I think about 8. Like viable. We just need to get repositioned from where we are linearly to new bend paths. They all have the same pivot points, or still maybe needing a or offset. We're doing it that way. And yeah, I'm excited to do some Blender Python. It's going to be very painful, mainly because of my lack of knowledge. Okay, so then this one, back foot past the hump, which means we're going over the hump and pretty much back to the same position. A little bit more inward. I want to make too many perfect lines because I'm too cluttered to actually keep track of properly. Yeah, you might not even move it. Think something close to that. Why is it that scuff is screamingly obvious in screen caps and renders? A really good point. So I had this thing where I would always tweak things and then render, and I wouldn't really do test renders. And everyone around me is like, dude, you wait so long for your renders. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't, I never feel like I can properly tweak at a lower resolution because as soon as you step up, all of a sudden, all these new things appear to you that you'd want to tweak for. So, like, I don't know. It's kind of better to do a render, as many test renders as you want, and then like just take notes, and then go back and fix as many individual things as you can. But yeah, I agree. I have heard people, especially traditional sculptors with like clay and whatnot, because it's always kind of where it is. You can like move it from room to room, but that's not a practice I think most people usually do unless they keep it in like a project room on a shelf, but then you keep it in like paper towels. You know what I'm getting at? Like you see it in the same place all the time. You can try and go across the room and look at it, but how often are you checking like that? So people like take just pictures with their phone and just look at their sculpts through their phone camera. And that helps give like lens distortion, which helps understand the model in a different light. It's probably going to be photographed, so you're probably going to have some sort of lens between the viewer and the object. So having that's good. You can like zoom in, you can back out. Like it's a good step to yeah, get into a different headspace, like examining your render. Rate my scuff or don't. Yeah, let's check it. Okay, so it's not a walk. That's a run. A walk would have at least 1 foot planted at every moment, but you have moments where the character's feet both leave the ground. Uh, the hips wiggle a little bit too much. The hands are too high up and maybe a little bit too forward. But it's not bad. Like getting to here, most of it's done. Now it's just tweaking. The head's a little stiff. You want to probably just make sure the head always looks like it's looking at some point in the distance. You didn't do the tail at all. The tail is going to add so much that some people are going to be like, oh my god, it's amazing. And all you do is the tail. Just a little sine wiggle back and forth, you know? And it's going to be like amazing. That's how it works. Also, okay, so your back foot, you do a nice like land and bend, and then you have a good transition toe down thing. The foot kind of in front of us. No, I guess it does it too. It looked a little stiff. Well, I guess it's alright. The amount that the legs are doing, I would kind of expect a little bit more bounding, I think. Not bad, you just need to polish it a bit. I like it. I could watch it over and over. Get the clavicles in there too. Oh, and then wait. Do you start with the torso? And then it stops? Yeah. Just keep working it. You'll get it. You tried to scale it to an average human walk speed, and these guys are like half a meter tall. Yep. Yeah, zoom in. The hip wasn't nearly as visible in the viewport. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, especially if I'm doing this, right? Everything's fine, and then I actually play it, and like from one angle, and it's like things all of a sudden are just like, why? Yeah, there's still a little bit of shaking and jiving in this, but it's fine. Been way worse. Could be too quick a render setup. It's fine. Like now you have a whole list of things you want to change about it, right? Oh no, you're a little bit scared of the tail solution. The Rigify bone type you picked doesn't rotate sideways. What? So it only it's like a hinge? Yeah, no problem. Man. Rigify bone that doesn't, I mean, I guess they're useful in some places. Can you unlock some of the axes? There's got to be a way. But yeah, I'd be terrified of that too. Something like a generic tail, you forget the name. Okay, tails should be able to go in at least 2 axes, right? Maybe you can't twist it too much. That's fine. I don't feel like many tails twist. Maybe not too much, right? They're not spines. They don't need to be that mobile. Okay, so I'm thinking, did this work? That would give me a lot more confidence if that was a thing. Right. Let's swap. Okay, yeah, that seems fine. I'll take it. Hmm. I'd have to adjust radius per limb. Definitely should. You only found that out yesterday. It's basic tail from spines.basic tail. Sounded more tail-like than limbs.simple tentacle. Yeah, I'd almost always go with the tentacle though. That's personal. Like the ribbon solution, I made up, not like invented, but I coded my own, I forget, last year or the year before. It ended up working into everything. So each limb has like a ribbon going all the way down. I would do a spine, but I have a NURBS spline, which is kind of similar. But yeah, might do that someday. And then everything I do is just ribbons now because they're kind of better than FK chains. And yeah, nothing more tentacle than a ribbon spline. Might have rotated too far. Maybe 15 is too far. Okay, and always be around 8. I don't. That seems right. B, or attempt B. Ribbons. Yes. So ribbons are a technology that was cobbled together in Maya, where you have a NURBS strip. You're familiar with NURBS, right? So they use Bezier splines to make meshes. So yeah, they use that, and then they put hair follicles on it, and then each hair follicle will get a joint bound to it. And they will always be oriented properly because of the hair follicles. Then you create a bind joint chain and have them oriented to the hair follicle joints. And then the hair follicle joints themselves, you would just put like a controller, or let's see. Then you rig the NURBS strip, and You can put kind of whatever joint structure you want in there, but however you morph the NURB strip, it's going to already interpolate Bezier positions and have proper orientation. So you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And then the joints stay, because of the follicles, exactly where they're supposed to be. And then they drive an actual bind chain, which goes right to the skin. So it's very convoluted, but it's a way of being able to have pretty much any transformation you want that doesn't break. It always gets a little bit of that NURBS Bezier flair to it. So when you're twisting something, it'll twist more organically. All that stuff. Yeah, and this. So in here somewhere, I actually have a bunch of NURBS ribbons. Like here's the shaft for the gun. And then these are all of the follicle joints. You can see. So this is a control joint. It drives the ribbon, because it's bound to the ribbon. And then the ribbon itself has points. Yeah, it was an interesting task to put together, but I end up using it everywhere now because it just kind of works. It like gives you a free stretchy, free twisting over the whole limb. Yeah, you can break it if you really wanted to. I could just like pull a limb and get it to bend. Oh, and the coolest thing you can do is you can use blend shapes on the ribbon. So if you wanted to do a system where you deform the ribbon in a couple of different ways and then you blend from normal to the deformation, you can do that. Like doing a twist deformer. If you need to like have an arm, like a cartoony arm, like corkscrew around something, you could have a corkscrewed version of the ribbon that you would blend into, and the arm would do its like twirl thing. I think you can do taper. Do all sorts of weird things. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the end all be all of rigging stuff. I haven't seen a better system. But it's also really convoluted, so I'm not surprised if something else comes along in other packages that just does all the math of that for you. Or even plugins to just, like I have simplified it quite a bit. Yeah, I think the tongue. The tongue was another one that I did with that, and that's why we can stretch it as far as we can. No. Geometry scuffed. I should probably cut that up. I think we can get away with some tweaks, but it's probably better to like bind a new mesh and transfer skin weights. Okay, so each limb should maybe have a different radius. Why is the radius instead of like 11? Actually, maybe it should be 23. Theory. I like know this is gonna break. My curiosity. Why does it not work? Okay. You're just gonna go crazy. Way too far. Makes you feel like we should be multiplying instead of adding. Try it. Where's Cryogi to make fun of me for editing the same 3 lines over and over again? I think I don't want that anymore. Yes, multiply. Oh, but then would we not need the radius if that worked? Try it. Oh, nope. Nope, not at all. Also, yeah, X would maybe need something introduced to it. Okay, you know what? Maybe we're trying to solve it wrong. It's always the thing. So if you had a bone chain set constrained to follow a path, would that be near the effect? Ignoring stretch, of course. Well, in theory, that would still give you stretch, right? As long as they were set to be at certain percentage points of the path. And then the only thing you're missing is orientation. But you might still have that with Blender splines. I feel like that is the reason that we have the NURBS. Yeah, I think the NURBS strip in the first place is so it can have orientation. But Blender is storing orientation on each point of a spline. So like it has all the necessary information. Okay. See, yeah, that if I'm thinking through it, it seems like it might work easier at Blender. Maybe. But you'd have to make sure the orientation stays. Maybe that's it. Maybe it would still flip though. Because you would have to do a conversion like a vector to Euler. And that itself might flip, where the NURBS wouldn't. I always feel like once you're at that point though, you're rigging professional. Blender curves are fine as long as you never rotate the root node. That makes sense. Or you'd have to like really factor in a very weird offset. Okay. So what if we go from time percent to is Z% reasonable? Like I think it is. For all the keys in time, could say if we are on TZ, we're on translate C, then we want to record start and end values. Just want to think through it first. So if we get start and stop positions of the Z, then we have like our total distance traveled forward %. And then we would need to pretty much just use that % of how far forward we are to do our adjustments. Well, yeah, let's try it. Let's just start gathering data, I guess. All hell breaks loose if you do. Is it something that you can adjust for though? Like, I know in GeoNodes you get an object info and you can get the offset from the object pivot. Or like object position would be given, so you could subtract that from your curve point position. Yeah, I guess having to talking about rotating. Yeah, that could be a nightmare. So I'll say if so we use TZ. Let's just do TZ. Turn plural attribute. Okay. So now we need to find out if we are the smallest time or the biggest time. Which means we need more dumb variables. Should I get just the value at the end time? Like I could. But if there's no key, we might not even be affecting that. It might pull, like skew our range in a way that we don't want. And it can be so hard accounting for what an artist or animator might do, or might not do. Okay. Now if I have my... Oh, I do have my stuff from yesterday. Frame. Can we get a value at a time? Or it might be better to just go to time. Go to time, get thing. Yeah, we'll do it the cheap way. Why bust our balls? So small. So current time, start time. So get attribute of our selected control. The current one we're looking at. Plus, what's the actual attribute we're looking for? .tz. Okay, so we have 2 times. Or, well, we have positions. Start tz. And end tz. We need to know how far we are through that based off of our net. There's no way to shift a line. Do this up here. Every time we'll set to the current time. B%. And then this can just be get attribute. The same thing. Okay. Now let's try that instead of time percent. Okay, this looks clean. Let's try invalid use. What do you mean invalid use? I create it, I fill it. Oh, yeah, we need that thing to tell it it's a variable. Okay, let's try it on a foot. That'll actually show. I mean, okay, it sticks. Exactly what I wanted. So let's see if it did do anything. It did nothing. Oh, maybe it did something so small. Hmm. 2 times radius. We could just keep radius at 1 if we really need to. Let's try it at 2. Total anarchy. Okay, I mean, it moves further left. That's a thing. Oh wow, okay, I mean that shifts and it really puts it right under it. I feel like we're doing it. Okay, now let's grab a hand just so we can confirm that we're doing it wrong, because there's no way. There's no way. Little confused. Because that seemed to do absolutely nothing. Yeah, maybe it does a little something, but a tiny amount. Okay, yeah, that's flat. I guess I might have to go back through and flatten any added curves anyway, or added key points to the curve. Let's put the radius up. Interesting. So it's like going in the right direction and then it swerves. Nope. Also, does not pin. Absolutely does not pin. At the time, get the current value of the translate Z, find out how far it was before, or like where it is between the two values, and then push it through for angle. That makes sense. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so let's drop this. We're not using time percent anymore. We're now using a Z percent. That's fancy stuff. Our new. Anything else we don't need to print? Angle over time, is that important? Yeah, maybe. Okay, wait, that's promising. So when he takes his step, at least it's closer to center for him. Still seems to push back out though. Still feels like we're out of phase. But how could that be? Anywho, let's look at the data. This is stuff we could probably cut out. It's a little bit more than I think I need. 0, then 0.9, then 1 and 1. Yeah, guess it is plateauing. And that's like the step. Yeah, it's promising. At least it is moving. Let's stop. What's moving during this part? Why? Yes, for this section, it translates these just like slipping. Those are the same. Am I crazy? Right IK handle. All of you are flattened. Also starts it forward, which is wrong. So wrong. So like cosine times sine? We're gonna just try cos, but I'm looking at you. Might be you. Okay, that's the regular step. And I do the magic and Okay, so it either isn't moving, not doing anything at all. Just so subtle. Reload just in case. Wait, did we save the scene? Hopefully we did. Oh yeah, of course we did. Of course we did. I should make a backup. Okay. Next is nothing. This is the one that needs to move. It moves a little bit. Why does that feel like it's working? Those both felt like they worked. Weird. Kind of hog. Kind of weird. Hello, zombie. Don't know how long stream's gonna be. I realize it's Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, might be off to spend some time with the wife soon. Okay, so back legs and butt seem to work. Now the question is, I think it could be copium. I could be just imagining it. It happens all the time. Did I already mess up the arm? Doesn't seem right. Let's go for left hand. We only have one messed up limb. I can deal with that. Get a hot date with your 3D printer anyway? Literally? Ooh. So how far do you get? Can you get the hot ends heated? Okay, this feels like it needs to be the. Less Z and less X? Shifting a little bit though. Okay, looks like index and thumb are on the line. Let's run the thing. It's in more, I guess. Probably not in as much as I want it to be. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we go all the way to 15 for this one. That's too much. 12. It's reaching more. Maybe it's still that we're just not offsetting our circle. Maybe it's still pushing out from this. Who knows? I'm going to make a million promises about what we're doing tomorrow, and maybe we'll draw out where everything should be tomorrow. Math the whole thing. Still some ways to go. Next we'll be wiring up everything to a new control board. Exciting. I feel like wiring is exactly where I stop with most projects. Are you messed up, of course? Oh no. You wanted to switch to 24 volt on everything, but you can't desolder the cable from the hotbed. That sounds dangerous. Need to solder a different point to switch from 12 volts to 24 volt. Wouldn't you want to just step down like the bed? Like the bed's one of the things I wouldn't touch. They're the one thing that goes. They're the one thing that like the wires break because it moves, or they can move. The moving ones, the wires will break and cross and spark and cause fires. I wouldn't touch that part. Got a new soldering gun with a bit more oomph. That's interesting. Well, I wish you luck. Yeah, I also imagine a 24 volt heated bed is gonna heat up in like half the time. Would it be half the time? There's got to be some degradation of energy, right? Maybe not. Energy transfers to power or heat really easily. The wires are secure, way too secure. You can't make a dent in the solder. The whole bed sucks away heat so fast you can put your finger right next to the iron. It's impressive, I think. Yeah, I've seen lots of things. I've seen people use cork. I think I've seen people use layers of cork as insulator. And then on top of the cork, you can put like aluminum foil, so that way your conductive sensor for auto bed leveling can work. And like, it's amazing the sandwich of tech that people end up putting in the beds, even though they're still very simple. So I feel like I got the back legs and I got the cog. And then this we just rotate ourselves to like 8-ish. At 8. There we go. 8-ish. Now it's just the front legs. Why do the front legs suck so much? But at least they don't slide anymore. Like this is a big check. Done. You'll get there. A friend burns wood engraving like, and she got an iron that goes up to 1,000 degrees. Or yeah, enlist a friend with a hot air gun. I have a hot air gun. Those are fun. Really dangerous. I don't know why, at least for me, it's hard to imagine air can get superheated to 700 degrees coming out of a toy pistol looking device so easily. I feel like they can get up to almost 1,000 with a hot air gun. They're really impressive. You're gonna heat up the bead on a camping stove, top of an inverted pot, to around 100 to 120 degrees Celsius, and then got at it. Make a control box for a cheap toaster oven. I've heard that a lot. The toaster oven turned board manufacturing station, desoldering station. It's a big bag. It needs a big gun. You use it. Keep the temps once you get it off the pot. 100 degrees, metal plate, soldering iron, wood burning iron. What can go wrong? Nothing. Nothing. Perfectly safe. No one's. Actually, no. I have to tell this story. So when I was in high school, obviously, when they open up weird projects, I would pick weird topics. So once I was like, flesh-eating disease. Let's just look into what flesh-eating diseases actually exist in the world, because you kind of hear about them and they're just fascinating. Like, what weird bacteria is waiting under a boulder to just eat everything that you knew that was you. So yeah, I was looking into necrotizing fasciitis, because that seems one of the coolest, most preeminent necrotizing diseases. Besides cellulitis, but cellulitis feels whatever, a little bit mundane. And I actually found that there was a kid within the past 5 years of me doing my research that actually got necrotizing fasciitis from using a wood burning kit. And he burned his finger in just such a way, and was ashamed, so didn't tell his parents because he wasn't supposed to be using it, and it developed into necrotizing fasciitis. And I was just like, oh my god, that kind of locally. So I was like, oh my god, it's not just a myth. They're around us. They're everywhere. Enlist a friendly brown recluse spider, right? But yeah, if you ever get purple blisters, see a doctor immediately. It can definitely be healed, but I forget what the cure is. I feel like it's putting the affected organ in a high oxygen environment. That might have also been Ebola. I did both. I thought they were both really cool. Necrotizing fasciitis, actually, the pustules with purple liquid pop, and then the pop is an open wound and ends up spreading more around. So Ebola, you're bleeding. Necrotizing fasciitis, you get this cool purple popping thing. Cool only if you're thinking about it in video game terms. I'm not a madman. I don't want it. Hey, I didn't look it up. We could have had a Google image search. And then I think about the poor developers that worked on Dead Space and how they actually had to have an in-house counselor because they had folders and whole directories full of just gore images. Murder scenes, car crashes, all that stuff, just so they could get all of the, disembodied bits right. And game development. Do we go too far sometimes? I think so. I think I've gone too far too. I should go spend time with the wife. It is Valentine's Day. And man, we got half a frog turned. No idea what we're going to do about those arms. They seem so weird to me. Wait, do they still... Okay, wait. One more attempt. Right, left hand. And then we'll put this at the opposite angle. And then I'm gonna run away, and maybe Ravier's on, and I'll just throw it to him and run away. Wife greater than frog? Yes. Yep. Didn't think that would be a question I'd have to answer today, but yes, definitely. It looks so good, and then it, oh, so far off. Yeah, I think I have to diagram this. I think I have some math and I have some angles and like some of it's working, but I think I might actually be shifted. Might be rotating around an origin point instead of... Yeah, I don't know. I gotta rebase my thinking. Okay, maybe cursed frog princess greater than wife greater than frog. What if wife is the cursed frog princess? Just gonna put that out there. You don't know. Let's see, we'll save this as a thing. I'll back up this. And then gotta find somebody on. And you took way too long for your first kiss? Oh, is that what that means? I figured it was just like a Shrek thing. Like, what if you kissed your wife for the first time and she turned into a half frog? And then, you know, you felt bad, right? Because that doesn't happen to everybody, right? So, you know, then you're just with a half frog person. Nobody move, I lost my lens. I'm about to leave. Sorry, Cryogi. I'm sorry, we were talking about you earlier. Only good things, I promise. I was wondering where you were to complain about me editing the same lines of code that I was yesterday. Yeah, we're gonna raid out because I'm gonna go spend time with the wife because it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Cryogi. Oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna give you a second because I think you posted something that totally got missed by me because I'm the worst. I don't think I ever commented on this. I think this is looking really good. So you get your lady with a magazine. I love her hair. Her hair looks really good. That's the one that was the most like, did he get the hair system working? Because it has this thing about the roots, which is very good. Like the shine on this is pretty good too. Can't complain about this. Is she smoking though? I want to see some very complicated smoke particles. Maybe we need some simulation, some smoke sim. Yeah, good work on this. I'm loving the textures. They're all so good. Anywho, hope you find your lens, Cryogi. Wasn't there a webcomic about that? Gonna dig it up and send it over tomorrow? Sounds good. Oh wait, you don't wear lenses. Oh, Cryogi. Well, you know what? I'm gonna send you over to Revere, who's working in Blender to make a spaceship. and in Unity as well. So cool stuff. I hope to see everybody tomorrow. Sorry for cutting it short, but I totally forgot how to live life. And Valentine's Day. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great Valentine's Day. Yes, I will. I will go spend time with my wife. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.